It is time. The journey begins now. Redemption in America. Evander Holyfield takes on Sherman Williams in our main event for the WBF Heavyweight Championship. 12 rounds coming up. And now let's go to our ring announcer, Jimmy Lennon Jr.
Well, fans from the world-famous Greenbrier Resort, we are ready for the main event of the evening. Please welcome the boxers as they make their way to the ring. First, entering to the blue corner, please welcome the challenger, Sherman "Tank" Williams.
Coming to us from Freeport, Bahamas, with a record of 34 wins, 11 losses, 19 wins by way of KOs. He adheres to the Bahamian saying, pressure bust pipes, and he is ready to bust a dream tonight. If he's able to put it off, Sherman Williams is here and ready.
A man who got a late start in his pro career at age 27, has had a good career, obviously 34 wins, 11 losses, 2 draws, has not gotten over that hump for a truly important win. He hopes that's tonight, even at the age of 40. One of the key points is he's coming in with over a year layoff, so that could be a factor for him.
And he's gotten his way down to 258 pounds. Usually fights around 264, 265. And he is ready to go ahead and go the distance. 3 times now he's prepared himself for this fight.
By all accounts, he has trained as hard as he ever has in the last 10 years. That could be a factor for him if he can push Holyfield into the later rounds.
Sherman the Tank Williams.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, entering to the red corner, the defending champion, Evander, the real deal, Holyfield.
It's called Redemption in America. And so too is this magnificent place where we're at. It's also a place that has survived through a redemption period, having been rescued from being in bankruptcy. And now, Evander Holyfield wants to rescue his career to become again the heavyweight champion of the world. It took him 20 years to become the undisputed heavyweight champion of the world. He's willing to go as long as it takes out to do it again, to become the heavyweight champion of the world.
He is a man, obviously, with dogged perseverance, and he feels that he can still be a force in this heavyweight division. And the one thing you've got to say is, but for a couple of scorecards people didn't understand, could have won one version of the heavyweight title against Nikolai Valuev, and we saw him against Sultan Ibragimov. While he certainly lost that fight, had his moments. So I said at the beginning, he is still a capable heavyweight, and we'll find out how capable tonight against Williams, who I believe will give him trouble.
And you heard Lennox Lewis talk about Evander Holyfield, about his 3 different defenses, all his different punches, all that experience. A guy who had a record of 169 wins, 11 losses as an amateur, and then parlayed that right into championships at the cruiserweight and eventually the heavyweight championship of the world. So this is our main event, the moment we've been waiting for, and it is now here. Evander, the real deal Holyfield, taking on Sherman Tank Williams, and we are ready now for the official introduction here. Let's go to Jimmy Lennon Jr.
Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, we ask you to please rise as we honor America with the singing of our national anthem. Now presenting the colors, please welcome the Greenbrier East High School Color Guard. And now, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the microphone to lead us once again our talented guest vocalist, Tasha Taylor.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming. And the rocket red glare, their bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Whoa, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Thank you very much to Tasha Taylor. Ladies and gentlemen, a very good evening to you and welcome to White Sulphur Springs, West Virginia for the featured bout of the evening, brought to you by ARC Promotions in association with the Greenbrier and Integrated Sports. This bout coming away is sanctioned by the World Boxing Federation, the President Howard Goldberg, Supervisor Sergio Sotelo, along with the West Virginia State Athletic Commission, the Chairman Steve Allred, the Commissioners in attendance, Dr. Julian Bells, Brian Simpson, and Tony Figueretti, with our timekeeper at the bell, Ronnie Pack. Introducing to you our three judges scoring this bout from ringside, Jim Frio, Rick Modisett, and Dale Hardwick. And our third man in the ring, the referee in charge of this bout, Dave Johnson. All right, fans, here we go. 12 rounds of boxing for the WWF Heavyweight Championship. And now, ladies and gentlemen in attendance and boxing fans joining us around the world, live from America's resort, the Greenbriers Colonial Hall, it's time for the main event of the evening. Introducing to you first, the challenger. On my right, fighting out of the blue corner. Wearing white trunks with multicolored trim, he weighed in at 258 pounds. With a record of 34 wins, 11 losses, he has 19 wins coming by way of knockout. Here is the former WBC Caribbean Boxing Federation heavyweight champion, fighting out of Fort Pierce, Florida, by way of Freeport in the Bahamas. Introducing the challenger, Sherman, the Tank Williams. And his opponent across the ring, the defending champion, really needing no introduction the world over. Fighting out of the red corner, wearing red trunks with purple and white trim. He weighed in at 224.5 pounds. Fighting out of and representing his home of Atlanta, Georgia. His record stands at 43 wins, 10 losses, 2 draws, with 28 wins coming by way of knockout. Currently, the World Boxing Federation title holder. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome a legend of boxing, the Olympic bronze medalist, the former undisputed cruiserweight world champion, and the four-time heavyweight champion of the world, introducing the one and only Evander, the real deal Holyfield. Once again, here's our referee in charge, Dave Johnson.
Here, I give you instructions in the dressing room. I want you to do two things for me. I want you to obey my commands, and I want you to protect yourself, most importantly. Any questions over here? Over here, touch them up, good guys. Let's go.
The
Ready
final instructions by referee Dave Johnson, and here's how they stack up.
Well, you know, you can see that they call him the Tank. He's a short heavyweight, carries that 258 pounds better than you could ever imagine. The reach advantage goes to Holyfield, obviously. Holyfield will fight a little more from the outside, but he likes to get inside as well.
The real deal has on the red trunks, and Sherman Williams, he has on the white with a Bahamian color of turquoise and black.
Obviously, Sherman Williams not as well known to most of you as Evander Holyfield. Benny and I have done his fights before. He has a very sneaky overhand right. He takes a terrific punch, and he is very willing in that.
All you got to do is take a look at that head, and you know that is a battering ram that is going to take a great amount of punishment before you can drop this man. And he also has a great left hook, but that is also the punch that Evander Holyfield also can throw with great effectiveness.
Yeah, I don't think Sherman Williams wants to trade left hooks with Holyfield. Holyfield, I mentioned at the top of the show, he can now throw that left hook. His shoulder, he took off almost 2 years and healed his shoulder injury, and in the last 7 fights, he has used that left hook much more effectively.
And those were the years of 2002, 3, and 4. Losses to Larry Donald, James Toney, and Chris Bird, which he blamed on that left shoulder injury. Now, Holyfield weighed at 224. That's the heaviest he's ever been in his career. Prior to that, he weighed 221 against John Reed, and that was the heaviest he had ever been.
Don't punch, I tell you to stop. You don't punch, I tell you to stop. Let's go.
Already a clash of heads, and on top of that, a debate between the referee and Sherman Williams.
Well, Lennox Lewis warned us about that punch, right?
Yeah.
The third punch, the head of Evander Holyfield.
Dave Johnson lecturing Williams about hitting after the break.
See Sherman trying to go ahead and open himself up for that overhand right. That's his bread and butter punch.
Williams fighting much more passively here in round 1 than we might have anticipated. And Holyfield, who's by nature a counterpuncher, actually kind of pressing the action a little bit more.
I did his fight against Fresno Kendo, and I remember he dropped Fresno Kendo with a left hook in the first round. Surprising. But the thing you always got to take into account here, Al, is when you're 48 years old, and again, punching out of the break, and that's setting the trend right
well,
there.
And Williams was very angry about, he thinks Holyfield's using his head, and he racked him with a left hook. So Sherman Williams showing us one thing. He didn't come here to not win this fight. He's going to try as hard as he can. He'll do whatever he can. And there's the hook you talked about with Williams. I said he didn't want to trade left hooks with Holyfield. I could be wrong.
Holyfield himself trying to land that left hook right there up close.
Stop. Let me have it.
Again, at 48, what the mind wants to do and what the body's able to do is not necessarily connected. Final seconds of round number 1. Holyfield and Williams are main event.
There's that overhand right at the end of the round by Williams.
Now that is a tough round to score.
Hey, look, put those shots together, Spody.
But if I have to pick, I'm going to go at 10-9, and I'm going to go with Sherman Williams.
He looks like the one that's starting to fight. You follow what I'm saying? Keep them hands high. Okay. Some more water. Hey, look, just keep showing in that jab. All right? This round 2 coming up. How you feel? Great. Not yet. You got time. I'm sorry.
Tommy Brooks right there in the corner.
Yeah, that was Tommy, one of the fine trainers in boxing. And here is where Williams mad about the head of Holyfield. And he says, here, I'll hit you with the left hook. And there's no question the heads were banging together there. And Williams giving the legend of Evander Holyfield a piece of his mind. So he's not intimidated.
A piece of his mind through a leather glove, that was.
Yeah.
Round number 2 of a scheduled 12-rounder, our main event of the evening. Evander, the real Holyfield, in the red trunks. Sherman, the Tank Williams, in the white trunks.
Here's the jab of Holyfield, often an underused weapon for him all through his storied career. He's got a good one.
And that's something he said he felt so comfortable with Tommy Brooks. He said, Tommy Brooks knows me so well. He knows when I'm not bending my knees, doing the things I need to do. So he's able to correct me right then and there. Left hook right there by Sherman. Evander thought that was a low shot. Now they're going to the body is Sherman Williams.
And that's an interesting wild card for Williams. You know, against a 48-year-old, you would want to work that body. Early in the fight, when both have fought Holyfield, he did work the body very well, but ironically, it was Holyfield who came back and knocked him out in the mid to late rounds.
5'11", that's a good spot for him to go ahead and shoot, is that body area. It's right there, almost eye level for him. Evander always has that great body, looks to be in great shape. We'll see.
And one thing you would want to do is press him enough so that if you get that fight to the later rounds, you've made him work hard enough. In his fight with Nikolai Valuev, Valuev didn't really pressure Holyfield. In fact, did almost nothing in that fight, and so Holyfield was able to fight at his pace and land good punches. Big left hook and a right hand by Holyfield.
And in that fight with Valuev, that was scored 112, 116, 114, 115 in the other one. So it's one of those things that were very close in that particular fight. Could have gone either way.
Yeah, I thought Holyfield won it. Valuev did almost nothing, but at least, that was one of the things that, if you talk about Holyfield, you want to say he's viable on some level in the heavyweight division. That's the fight you point to.
John David Jackson, who's been working hard with Sherman Williams on his boxing. There's that left hook, really loaded up right there by Sherman Williams.
And I think equally as important was the overhand right of Williams that just barely missed. He's come very close with that punch a couple of times. There's the combination punching of Holyfield. You know, at 48, and Lennox Lewis made the point, and so did Larry Holmes, it's really shocking to see somebody throw combinations at 48. People just don't do it.
So technically sound is Evander Holyfield as a boxer. So now at the age of 48, trying to draw that out of his body, see if he has enough for one more. The final seconds of round number 2, Holyfield and Williams.
Good round for Williams, but he better stop hitting after the break. He's going to get a point deducted.
Good round. That might be Holyfield, bro. I'm not sure. Deep breath. How you feel, man? Don't keep doing what you're doing. Get close. The body shots are winning. This guy, he's fighting over. He's fighting over, okay? Keep doing what you gotta do. Stay in the body. Every time you throw that right hand, come by that left hook. Body, hand.
Evander Holyfield throwing combinations. They just didn't quite get there. You see 4 punches, 5 punches missing. So while we credit him for being able to throw combinations at this age, they didn't get there. But now Sherman Williams had a huge second part of the round. Now here's an important moment. He's being broken, but you know what? I'm gonna speak out on behalf of Williams. At the time, I thought maybe he threw the punch on the break. He did not. He threw it before the break. Those are important moments at the end of that round, and let's see what that took out of Evander Holyfield, if anything.
Wait, they're going to hold the clock.
You ready? Let's get everything cleared up. Get out of here with the water.
Dave Johnson signaling for them to hold the clock.
That was interesting.
Yeah, gave a little extra time. And we are ready. This is round number 3 of a scheduled 12-rounder. Our main event, Redemption in America. Evander, the real deal, Holyfield, Sherman Tank Williams. And for Sherman Tank Williams in the white trunks, John David Jackson telling him he's fighting old as far as Holyfield, so attack the body.
I think if Sherman Williams, when he was in training and put his head down to sleep at night and visualize this fight. I think he's okay with the way these first 2 rounds went. Now, a reminder, though, both had 2 or 3 really good rounds early in the fight, but he still got knocked out by Holyfield.
See the cut below the left eye of Evander Holyfield?
Yep. Holyfield now, they're trying to put pressure on Williams.
Hey, stop. Come on, quit holding. Quit holding. Let's go. Quit holding.
Trying to get a closer look at that eye, see if it's above, but I think it is off to the side below the eye.
Might have come from that right hand. It is, yeah, and there is significant blood, but it is under the eye. That overhand right missed by about a foot, but it's the fact that he's throwing it.
And now Dave Johnson warning Sherman Williams. Sherman has a target now, that left eye of Evander Holyfield.
Good body work inside by Williams. And there's that right hand.
Right on the left eye, that's cut of Holyfield comes Sherman Williams.
Williams is not a monstrous knockout puncher, but that is a sneaky, powerful right hand. And he's luring Holyfield in. He wants to throw that right hand as a counterplay, and he lands it.
Right on the head of Holyfield goes that overhand right by Williams.
Holyfield does not by nature like to attack like this.
Hey, break.
He would rather counter.
Come on, let's go. Come on.
And again, part of the plan that John David Jackson has come up for Sherman Williams, although he did ask him to attack the body more.
It's been a good 3rd round for Sherman Williams.
Hey, stop. Come on, guys, let's go. Keep your hands free. Let's go.
And the sheer volume of punches from Williams is more than Holyfield's throwing, so that's a big plus for him in terms of running winning rounds. Oh my, he knocked Holyfield sideways.
That was it, he went to the body, mixed it up, started with the head, and then went to the body and rocked Evander Holyfield. Evander waiting and waiting, and now Sherman Williams has gotten Evander's attention with that overhand right.
I should think so. And that body work, which was very significant.
Come on, let's go. Come on.
Holyfield not rushing in to get after Williams. Williams doesn't want to attack him. He wants to make Holyfield come to him.
Being very patient is Sherman Williams. Good right hand again. Rocked Holyfield in the final seconds of round number 3. A great round right there for Sherman Williams.
The blood getting in my eye.
Getting in your eye? Blood's getting in his eye.
Go ahead. Shoot. I'm taking the chance with the wild guy.
Hey, look. I know you guys are both banging heads, but you're banging him on the back too, Ball. You gotta cut that out now.
The blood getting in his eye.
Huh?
The blood getting in your eye. I can't see this thing.
Here is the point at which Evander Holyfield was rocked the first time. It was body punches and overhand right to the head.
We've only won 3 rounds. If you want to go on with it, tell me now.
And as he continues this assault, we overheard Tommy Brooks asking Holyfield if he wants to go on. There's no question Evander Holyfield, I think, is in some danger in that corner.
They're going to talk to him right now. He wants to, he says he can't see out of the left eye.
He didn't quit. You understand
The blood in his eye.
That's right.
We got either no contest or a technical draw. Fight is over.
Fight is over.
Get blood in his eye, elbow.
Blood in his eye.
Dave Johnson stopping the fight.
They are lobbying in that corner for a technical draw, but we did not hear whether that came from a clash of heads. And in all truth, that cut is not profusely bleeding right into his eye. Now we'll
But
see
he was
what
saying
happens.
that the blood was getting in his eye, and he wasn't able to see.
Well,
those are the words of Evander Holyfield.
That's what he said, and we'll find out if, in fact, this came from a clash of heads. We did not get word on that. If it did, it would be a technical draw. God bless.
Blood.
You had an artery pumping there. That's too bad.
Sorry about that, brother.
That artery is pumping blood. It ain't gonna last. It's just too bad a cut. He can't jump the break. It's a deep bad cut. It's pumping blood.
And the thing is bleeding right into the eye.
Well, there you go.
It was bleeding right into the eye.
believe that at the end of round 2 is where the cut took place. That is, they bang heads, and there is where the cut. There's no question that that came from a clash of heads, or it appears obvious. And if that is true, and if that is the case, and the fight was stopped because of that, this probably will be a no decision. And for Sherman Williams, who had more than his share of good moments in this fight, that look on his face may be one that we see after the fight. And we believe it's going to be a no contest, which will be an unsatisfying ending to this fight for that man and really for everybody.
You need to throw away the Holyfield jacket. Bahamas is #1, baby. We beat him, cut him with the conk punch, the overhand right, did the damage once again. Now let's see what they're gonna do to me in Virginia. Thank God I'm back. A year off, could barely walk last January. God has brought me back and restored me 110%. All praises to Jah.
Well, good commentary from Sherman Williams. That is his spin on this. It appears to us that the clash of heads caused the cut. He landed plenty of right hands, that's for sure. And to tell us exactly what will take place, let's go to Jimmy Lennon Jr.
Ladies and gentlemen, this bout has been stopped at the end of round number 3. Evander Holyfield unable to continue due to blood in his eye based on an accidental cut which occurred in round number 2. Therefore, this bout will be scheduled and called a no contest due to it not going the necessary 4 rounds. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a no contest.
Sherman Williams clearly distressed.
I gotta get some scissors somewhere. Bad cut. There was arterial blood pumping out. That's why I knew you couldn't go off.
All the way, that's
Yeah.
deep, that's down to the bone.
Yeah. Where do you want to do it?
Here, let me get a picture real quick. Hurry up, Tim.
Evander.
Okay, right here, Tim.
You heard the doctor explain exactly why this fight was stopped.
Neurosurgeon.
Huh?
Okay, then I can get it done here. Then
I just gotta get some.
Well, you got to dead it though, because I can't handle the pain.
And Ben
Evander, your
Ricardo
journey
with the bandage.
continues. That was in the second round. It was declared an accidental headbutt. You were not able to see on the left eye, and finally that was stopped in the 3rd round. Tell me your thoughts about the decision.
Well, the big thing is that, I'm cut and his headbutt, and he come down low and I get hit in the face every time with his head. And so do I wait till I get hurt before it declare? It's just realistic. I can see the blood coming in my eye.
Evander, tell me your plans now. You've got a fight coming up in March against Brian Nielsen. Is the plan still that way?
I don't know. I got a cut. I got a cut.
So would you possibly give Sherman a rematch?
Of course I will.
So there you go. A possible rematch right there for Sherman Williams.
Take in the Bahamas. Come to my backyard.
Sherman, come on in here. Come on in here. Sherman, tell me about you made yourself great strides. You've had to go ahead and get yourself in shape 3 times to finally get a chance to fight against Evander Holyfield. So there's been a lot of ups and downs, but you kept your concentration through. You had your moment, and you felt you had a great plan for this fight.
Listen, first of all, I want to give Almighty God much thanks for restoring me and bringing me back. I had 12 months off from the ring on, back injuries, and I just keep training hard, and I'm here back. This Holyfield fight, when it was first made for November, I thought it was a total blessing for me. However, it turned into a circus, on again, off again, on again, off again. But, I stayed focused. I stayed in the gym, me and my trainer, John David Jackson, my manager, Cy Stern. My wife supported me 110%. Everybody in Key West, and especially everybody in the Bahamas, Freeport, Bahamas.
Baby, Bahamas.
Mom, Dad, we love you. My grandma. I just want to give thanks, especially to the Ministry of Sports, Ministry of Tourism. We're going to keep representing, and you know what? I cut him with the conk punch, the overhand right, split him open. Now, what we could do for a rematch? Tourism, let's bring this fight to Atlantis, Holyfield, Tank Part 2. And by the way, I'll take his place happily and go to Denmark to knock out Brian Nielsen.
I'm sure you would. Of course, they got a brand new stadium out there, a national stadium in the Bahamas where maybe we can get a rematch there. And that's Sherman Williams. Back to you, Al Bernstein.
Thank you, Benny. Well, an interesting and obviously in some ways unsatisfying end to the evening. A beginning of that fight that portended, I think, what we thought we were going to see. A very interesting and entertaining fight. There were lots of good exchanges, and we thought we were headed for what was going to be an entertaining fight. But that clash of heads, and I do believe that that clash of heads is what created the cut. It was clearly enough of a cut that the doctor said this fight could not go on. It leaves Evander Holyfield's immediate and long-term future in doubt. And for Sherman Williams, it's a disappointing evening with a no contest.